What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Market Watch video. This week we're going to be taking a look at 6 different cards that went up over the past week. Before I get into it though, first I would like to remind you, if you have not, please do subscribe to the channel. Helps out a bunch. We are close to 32,000. Want to take the time to thank you all for helping me get there. First card we have, it's pretty funny because I talked about this, I believe, a week or two ago in a video short. And then Mind Leech Mass was around a $5 to $6 card. Now it's continuing to skyrocket, getting closer to $10. I think that's hilarious, because the first comments I got when I talked about it, people were like, this card's awful, this card's bad. And then it continues to go up because a lot of those people will go and buy it. It's a funny thing about the market, people say one thing and then they do another. On this channel, whenever I talk about a card, it's because I like it or I'm actually curious about it. And at first I was curious about Mind Leech Mass, now I love it. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may look at that player's hand and play a non-land card in it without paying its mana cost. It does have trample, it's a 6/6, but it is a whopping 8 mana. So normally if you hard cast this in a commander game, you're going to have to wait if you don't have a haste enabler, and you're going to hope that you have enough power here to get through some damage. Overall though, the ability itself is pretty powerful, and that's what people are excited about. It was only printed one time in Ravnica too, so it has that going for it. And then we have Herald of the Pantheon from Commander 2018. Now the other version of Herald of Pantheon, I believe it's still around $2, but this is making a push for $4 or $5, which again, we have to talk about the Commander Precon impact. A lot of people, for some reason, they look for specific printings of a card like this. We saw it with Commander 2016. A lot of cards were more expensive if they came from that set because of the limited print run. There's going to be some premium, not a massive premium, but there's something extra there if you're looking at precon cards. And Herald of the Pantheon, I don't really get it personally. I know that there are enchantments from the new Neon Dynasty set, but we have better enchantment support at this point. I mean, we even got a new creature that's an enchantment creature that makes our enchantments 1 less, and I think that synergizes better with Enchantress strategies. I get that, yeah, you gain life each time you cast an enchantment, but I've never played Herald of the Pantheon because I was thinking to myself, this is great late game recovery. You might be casting 1 to 2 spells a turn. I always played it because it had cost reduction, but still, that's what's making a move. This next one is a little bit more focused on the precon exclusivity. We have Volcanic Offering from Commander 2014, so this was quite some time ago. This was one of the 5 cards. This was part of a cycle. The offerings were pretty unique. They're more political than anything else. You do see some of them in group hug decks, but I like them better if you're just pitting players against each other. 5 mana instant, you destroy target non-basic land you don't control and target non-basic land of an opponent's choice you don't control. Deal 7 damage to target creature you don't control and 7 damage to target creature of an opponent's choice you also don't control. So you and at least one opponent are making the decisions here, which I love. It could be the same opponent for both parts, and at instant speed, this is pretty flexible. If you are spending 5 mana, give me something more, Wizards. Give me instant speed. Make it a little bit more comfortable to play it. And this could be in response to combat. This could be in response to any type of game-winning play. Something like this can save you. And we have Hero of Bladehold, making a run up to $15, maybe $20. Pretty easy to understand why. The only printings of this card go back to forever ago in Mirrodin Besieged. You're talking 10 years without a reprint. And it has a pretty good attack trigger. You get 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. Battle Cry also is great for this type of strategy because you're also giving your token creatures +1 power. I remember this being such a headache to have to deal with because the creature presence that would be created would deal a ton of damage, and even in Commander, she's still a force to be reckoned with. Definitely worth the price. I don't think it's a surprise to anybody. Cards like these, a mythic rare from a set that was printed forever ago, not the easiest one to find, especially in the condition that you're looking for. Next we have, speaking of a card that's never been reprinted, Retether from Planar Chaos, getting really close to $10 and will probably break $10. It amazes me how certain cards like these fly under the radar. Retether brings back each aura from your graveyard to play. So for only 4 mana, that's pretty good. There are a lot of decks that are only focusing on auras, that only care about auras. We have a newer commander option from Neon Dynasty that only cares about those. So something like Retether being a rare from an older set. Again, this was from forever ago, even further back than Mirrodin Besieged. Yeah, it's going to fetch a decent price. The only downside here is that you have to get auras that specifically enchant creatures. So anything that would normally enchant a land, that would enchant an opponent, you have curse auras, you can't get those back. So this is specifically for your creatures. Still good though, that's pretty focused. And the last card to talk about is one that I believe I've also mentioned in a video short, Null Broach from Exodus. This one is dirt cheap. Not a reserve list card, but still cool. You pay 2 mana and tap it to discard your hand and counter target non-creature spell. You have a colorless way of countering spells. Not only that, but it's also beneficial for graveyard strategies where sometimes having your whole hand in your graveyard is better. You have something pretty special here, and for a while, this card's been pennies, but now you're seeing $3 to $4, and that's incredible. I know people don't like market pumpers, they don't like it when you pump a card because you think it's gonna go up by a lot. I don't do that as much. I choose cards that I think are playable. Now, I'm not gonna come out here and say, hey everyone, go and buy a bunch of narwhals. You know, just go and load up on a bunch of cards that happen to be reserve list, but are dirt cheap because they're just not good cards. This is something that I think could become an abusable card, especially if we have commander strategies where the fewer cards in hand, the better. I could totally see that. We've already seen the value in discard. Once having an empty hand becomes valuable in commander, I would expect this to go up even further. Of course, there's always the danger of something being reprinted, but this is a pretty weird card. It's not always guaranteed. So that is it for this week's Market Watch, February 24th, 2022. If you liked the video, please subscribe and share it with your friends. Commander Void here signing off. I will see you all next time.